This is All Things Business. This is Anthony here to talk to you about when you're forced to start over. You're gonna have some challenges in this industry. You're gonna have some obstacles in this industry. We're coming out one of the big challenges in the last decade in this industry, dealing with the pandemic, and it forced disruption all through this industry. And you got to be able to have strategies in place to overcome those things. So you don't want to be giving up on your dreams of being successful in this industry. You just want to make sure that you understand what's going on, paying attention to what's going on. Don't blame others. The first thing you want to do is be accepting accountability, accepting the responsibility of the challenges. And then let's talk about what are some of the challenges in this industry that you want to be looking forward to, because that's what we want to encourage, whether you're a company driver, owner operator, or lease operator. We want to encourage you to be able to see the challenges coming ahead and what they're going to be, and start putting things in place to help you make your decisions when these challenges are going to come. Because the cycle is going to repeat itself. So it starts with accepting accountability, accepting responsibility, and then you will be able to move forward to be able to overcome the challenges. Me coming in, I didn't expect some of the challenges that I see, but it forced me to put in the work to understand, are these challenges that we're facing, are they something that just happened one time, or are they going to be consistent cycles? And what you find out, they're consistent cycles. So if they're consistent cycles, that means you can have a strategy in place to be able to deal with a consistent cycle of challenges and obstacles that's going to come in our industry. And there's going to be disruption in the supply chains consistently, whether that's the prices going up on fuel, the price going up for labor on maintenance, whether low rates are going to change. These things are going to be consistent things that's going to happen in our industry. Transportation, they're going to be consistent, and you got to have things in place to deal with those challenges that we're going to face consistently. And you're going to have to be able to recognize when the obstacles are going to come up, and you're going to have systems in place in order to overcome them. And trucking to me is easy, but it's complex at the same time. So I will say trucking is very easy, but at the same time it's complex. And what you want to do is be able to tap into understanding the cycles. And those cycles, again, I'm going to repeat them real quick. They're going to be disruptions in the supply chain, and it can be in the results of either fuel prices changing, the labor rates for maintenance changing, rates are changing. And that dealing with the carrier side. The shippers, the people who make products that we move, they're gonna have their own disruptions, and we're just gonna focus on the carrier side though. With us, what we gotta be able to do is have things in place to be able to deal with the fuel price all of a sudden increasing. So when those things all of a sudden increase, or whether there's all of a sudden labor increase when it comes to maintenance, or all of a sudden rates increase or decrease, the things that you want to have in place is a good system in place to deal with those changes. And the number one thing that combats all those is your cash flow. Being able to create a cash flow system in place is very important. I'm going to make a 3-part series on here, and we're going to start with the company drivers first. And then we'll get to the lease operators, and then we'll get to owner operators. So dealing with a company driver, you wondering, well, why would I have to have a cash flow system in place as a company driver? I'm not responsible for the maintenance of the truck. I don't necessarily have to worry about the rates, and I don't have to worry about fuel costs. And I'm going to disagree with that ideology. It's definitely going to have an impact, and we see it all the time. So let me show you an example of how all these things affect you as a company driver, and why it's important from the time you start your career. You want to start creating that cash flow system in place so that you can deal with these things. Here's how it affects you. You start driving, all of a sudden, let's say fuel prices go up. When the fuel prices go up, how they're gonna have an effect on you is you might not run as much because the fuel prices are going up. The company is going to be trying to figure out, you might be driving less miles. If maintenance goes up, what does that happen? That means when you break down, depending on where you break down at, you might have to sit longer. So then if you have to sit longer, that's gonna mean you're gonna get less miles as well. And then, third but not least, if the rates change, you might get less miles because they're not going to be able to run as many loads, because all of a sudden the company has to come up or start implementing things in place to adjust what customers they're going to pick up for, what customers they're not going to pick up for. Because when the rates change, it definitely affects how many loads they can pick up. So now you're getting less miles again. So that is how it affects you as a company driver. When all three of those things bring disruption to the industry. So you gotta start, from the time you start driving, what you have to do is figure out how to save your money. That is what it means as a company driver, to create cash flow. So that if you do have to sit a little bit longer and you need to be able to pay your bills at the house, if you have started creating some money saved up, when you are sitting a little bit longer than you want to, you don't have to worry about being able to cover your bills because you started off saving money. So for the company side, that's going to be part one video. When these disruptions come in, as a company driver, you want to start saving money. You can put another label on it called emergency cash funds. Is another label you can use, but you want to start saving money as soon as you start driving. You want to start putting money aside because there are disruptions in the supply chain, and when those disruptions do come in place, you want to be able to still cover your bills, and you want to be able to still take care of your home. That is how you do it, is by creating savings. And then as well, the next strategy that you want to maybe implement is you want to start investing early into your career. When you first come out here, you want to get into investing early, and that is by creating accounts for IRAs, tapping into your company's 401k, creating a savings plan, maybe investing in real estate or something, or at least saving the money up to eventually invest in real estate, invest in other businesses. As you meet people or you know people that's already in business, maybe you tap into their business by saving your money up. Those are the ways you can tap in, overcome the supply chain issues in our industry, is by saving money, taking the money you saved, by putting it into your emergency funds, and be able to get into your IRA accounts, 401k accounts, or just get into investing in other businesses. Is how you create ways around the supply chain issues that's going to affect you as a company driver, because you're going to end up with less miles for a little while, and you're going to be sitting a little bit longer, depending on what kind of disruptions we're going to be facing, which could be either higher maintenance costs on our repairs, it could be the rates are changing, or it could also be fuel prices have went up. So that is part one of this video for the company drivers. We'll next be dealing with lease operators and owner operators next. Thank you for tuning in. This is All Things Business. God bless. And as we always say, I say, who? All things business, baby.